Good evening. Starting the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting this January 27th, 2020 at 6:35 p.m. I will first ask every one of our board members to please state their name for the records, starting this up.
Rick Bollier.
Jeremy Carrier, Chair.
Kathleen Verona, Vice Chair.
Thank you, board members. This time I'm going to read the posting that was put out for this evening's meeting. The Granby Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, January 27th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. at 10B West State Street, Senior Center, Granby, Mass. 01033, to consider the petition of the applicant, the Granby Bow and Gun Club, Incorporated, seeking to appeal a cease and desist order of the Granby Building Inspector concerning violations of Granby zoning bylaws 6.29, special permitting ordinances concerning substantial expansion of a 500-yard range at 85 Chicopee Street, Granby, Mass., known as Map 15, parcels C 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 12, as alleged and described in a letter dated November 25th, 2019, from the building inspector to the appellant. In addition to the above hearing, the Board of Appeals intends to conduct the public meeting following said hearing as time permits. This notice is given pursuant to Chapter 40A and Chapter 39, Section 23B of the Massachusetts General Laws, submitted by Jeremy Carrier, Chairman, Granby Board of Appeals, published January 10th and 17th, 2020. In the Town Reminder, CC to the petitioner, Board of Appeals members, Planning Board, Conservation Commission, Building Inspector, Board of Health, Select Board, Board of Assessors, the abutters, Town Clerk, and the Fire Department. At this time, I would like to read into the record a letter that was submitted to us from the Granby Bow and Gun Club. And this is Ms. Kathy Leonard, Town Administrator Secretary, Town of Granby Zoning Board of Appeals, 215B West State Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Regarding request for continuance, appeal, hearing January 27th, 2020. Dated January 24th, 2020. Dear Ms. Leonard, the Granby Bow and Gun Club respectfully requests that the appeal hearing date set for January 27th, 2020 before the Zoning Board of Appeals be rescheduled. As grounds for this request, the club states that both of its attorneys, Justin Rafelson, Esquire, and Martha Dean, Esquire, are unable to attend due to previous scheduled conflicts. Attorney Rafelson has a Zoning Board of Appeals hearing in Shrewsbury, and Attorney Dean is out of state for the entire week. The club asks its counsel to seek a continuance earlier this week, but has since been informed by counsel that the ZBA was unwilling to grant a continuance to allow the club to have legal representation. Given the fact that the club has a constitutional right to be accompanied and assisted by counsel at the hearing, and the facts of this matter is already in litigation and there are constitutional rights at stake, we are submitting this written formal request for continuance to the Granby Zoning Board of Appeals directly for their reconsideration. We ask that the ZBA grant our request for continuance and reschedule the hearing on the club's pending appeal to a mutually convenient date in the near future. Please note that counsel for the club was never notified as to prospective dates for the hearing. To avoid any further complications going forward, we are providing a series of dates that work well for the club's counsel. February 12th, February 19th, February 26th, March 2nd, March 3rd, March 9th, and March 11th. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Andre Mercier, President, the Granby Bow and Gun Club, CC to Brian O'Toole, counsel for the town. This time I'd like to open this up for discussion amongst the board members. Do you have any statements?
My sense is with this being under litigation, and that in fairness, I don't think, to the applicant, that I'm open to rescheduling the meeting. I think that would be my perspective on it. At finding a mutually convenient date, and in the near future, so that we could address this appeal.
Okay, I would agree upon that. I don't think that we've violated any constitutional rights at this time, but as a courtesy to the applicant, I would definitely like to see them have the opportunity to have counsel available for them for the hearing. So I would be in agreement as well.
I agree.
Do you have any other statements or discussion on the matter?
Is this the first continuance
For this matter, yes.
for this matter?
Okay.
And
That seems proper.
I would say that as an attorney as well, that oftentimes we do book things months in advance for things that we don't have control over. And typically in these matters, as professional courtesy amongst attorneys, because we know that we find ourselves in those positions when we do have conflicts, that we routinely agree to continuances. But given that we have a 5-person board here, it's not something that I could do without the board meeting and discussing in an open public meeting. I did have conversations with Attorney Rafelson trying to figure out how best to handle this. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the actual formal request to me and to the board until Friday. That's unfortunate, but it is where we are. And while I agree, I don't see any constitutional issues, at least at this point, coming into play. It certainly would be something that I would suggest the board do in terms of fairness.
So at this time, I would make a motion that the board would give a continuance in writing to the Granby Bow and Gun Club. And we'll have to come upon a mutual date at this meeting for us to meet.
Mr. Chairman, we did, when we did a continuance prior, the board authorized me to sign on behalf of the board. Mr. Mercier, I don't know how you'd want to handle this. If I have prepared something that's similar to what we used at the past matter. If you would like me to put it past Attorney Rafelson. Unfortunately, I was out of the office today with a family emergency, and so. But I think we'd have to figure out the date today. We're not going to open up the hearing yet.
Correct.
If the board is doing what I think they are going to vote on, we can get that in writing. If you authorize me to sign on behalf of the board, and Mr. Mercier, if you'd like to authorize your counsel to sign on behalf, did give us those dates there, so I'm sure that they'll work.
Okay.
It may just be some of the wording he may want to change around, but it's substantially similar to what I prepared last time.
Okay.
Okay. How are the other board members on the February 12th date? It's a Wednesday.
Excuse me.
I'm not taking questions at this time from the audience.
February don't work for us.
I'm not taking
It's
any.
not working for him.
No.
Why should it not work for us?
Because this is, sir, I'm not taking any questions at this time, to be honest. I cannot make it work for everybody.
But you said March, so.
So therefore, so we're looking at February 12th, 12th.
It's all right with me right now, as far as I know.
We have nothing scheduled.
That's your first.
February 12th, 19th work for me. The early dates in March, I will be out of town on business.
Okay. So at this time, board members present are available the 12th, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to be making the motion that the board set a continuance date for the hearing for the Granby Bow and Gun Club for the date of February 12th, at 6:30 PM here at 10B West State Street. And inclusive in that vote, I would also ask that we allow our attorney the right to have the signature, the authorize,
Execute the agreement. on behalf of
execute the
the-
agreement on behalf
Okay.
of the Granby Zoning Board of Appeals. Do I have any second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous decision. So that is all passed, that on February 12th, 2020, 6:30 PM, 10B West State Street, we will have the hearing, the continuance for the Granby Bow and Gun Club. You're welcome. Do we have any other discussions or topics that we need to bring up for the meeting?
I don't think so.
I don't have any other topics.
As attorney or counsel, do you have anything that we need to discuss?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. This time I make a motion to close this meeting.
6:45.
Any second?
Second, thank you.
All in favor? Aye. At this time, 6:45 PM, we hereby close the meeting.